Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a morning update. A couple of days ago, we were discussing Prince Andrew and the fact that he was going to be honored on his birthday by having the bells at Westminster Abbey ring out loud for him. Well, that was met with, as you could imagine, a lot of anger and rage by people not only in the UK but worldwide, but specifically in the UK. So much so that they took to the streets, went out in front of Buckingham Palace, and began chanting and carrying on and yelling and screaming and calling the Joe Exotic of the Windsor family, who continues to hide behind mummy's skirts, a pedophile. That's where we're at, folks. The rage of the people is only beginning to show itself. People have had enough. People have had enough of being shit on. People have had enough of being taken advantage of. People have had enough of the predatory loans. People have had enough of only getting enough to just get by. And then they see people like this, these royals, who rub our noses in their disgusting behavior and act like they are above the law, like they have their own set of rules that they can live by. And folks, since time immemorial, that's how it has been, right? They have had their own set of rules. Well, those days are coming to a quick end. The people worldwide are now paying attention to what is going on behind the curtain. And where we were all willing and used to our leaders being thieves and liars and just common criminals in general, nobody expected the scope of what has been unearthed when you pull that curtain back. And there's no going back from here, right? There's no more, you can't put the worm back into the apple. We have seen what we have seen, and we know what we know, and we finally have come to a point where people worldwide are coming together and demanding that these people who were hanging out with Epstein, who were engaging in this draconian, disgusting sexual trafficking ring, are brought to justice. And you hear it from continent to continent, not even from city to city, folks. We're talking, this is a worldwide situation now, and people everywhere are demanding justice. Well, everybody but the Queen, it would seem. Our article today is from The Express. The headline, Queen poised to ignore public opinion and orders celebration for Prince Andrew's birthday. The author of this article is Kate Nicholson. Queen Elizabeth II will not bow to public opinion even after recent protests at Buckingham Palace against Joe Exotic of the Windsor family, and is poised to order the Westminster Abbey bells ring out for her son's birthday next year, an expert told Express UK. Well, that's a quality decision, old Queenie. And I've been pretty, lukewarm about my criticism of the Queen because I really don't know much about the monarchy, right? And like I always say, I'm not here to blow smoke up your asses. You're all way too intelligent for that BS anyway. If I was here to BS you and act like I knew about shit I didn't know about, you all would know right away. So when it comes to the monarchy, I don't really know much about it. But I will tell you this. The Queen most certainly is not looking good in this whole entire Andrew fiasco. When I'm talking about the Queen, I'm just talking about this specific situation. And it does not look good for her. She's going to let these bells ring, even though there is this sort of public outcry. We got until February to get things really riled up and fired up. I mean, if they really want to shake the bee's nest, if they really want to whack the bee's nest with a stick and get all of the bees all fired up, well, ringing these bells is a good way to do it, because the people of the UK are not going to tolerate it, I don't think. Andrew has faced overwhelming public fury over the last year after his links to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein were uncovered. In the last year, huh? We've known about the links forever. Come on, the last year? Stop it. The last year is when the legacy media has really decided to put the screws to him. The legacy media has finally decided to do their job a bit when it comes to Andrew and at least ask the hard questions. But to act like it's been just a year and nobody knew anything before that, well, come on, we all know that's a bunch of malarkey. Epstein was arrested for charges relating to the sexual abuse and trafficking of young women and girls last summer, but killed himself, allegedly, in jail before his trial. The disgraced financier, pedophiles, alleged madam, co-conspirator, fellow child abuser, general all-around scumbag, Ghislaine Maxwell was then arrested last month on charges related to Epstein's abuse of young women and girls. Not only Epstein's abuse, but her abuse as well, okay? Let's not let her off the hook here. I don't know why people try and do that. Let's not try and soften the blow for good old Ghislaine, okay? She was a co-conspirator, a child abuser, and a scumbag. She has pleaded not guilty and was denied bail. She is believed to have been the mutual friend who introduced Andrew to Epstein in around 1999. Well, we know that it goes back further than that, right? We have it on record. We've talked to sources. We've heard from people who say that this goes back way before that. Her arrest was therefore has renewed interest in the Duke of York, even though he was effectively forced to back out of public duties last November after a car crash, Hindenburg level, BBC Newsnight interview where he tried to explain his relationship with Epstein. Well, there you have it, folks. He stepped back from public duties, so that should be the end of it. We should all just stop asking questions, step back, and just understand that he's being punished enough. Don't you know losing social status? That's as big of a punishment as you could possibly imagine. I mean, it's not like he was abusing girls or engaging in a sex trafficking ring or anything, right? Right? I mean, really? You lost status and that's your punishment? We should all just be comfortable and happy with that? No, my man. Okay, I am sorry. All right, Mr. Joe Exotic of the Windsor family, a.k.a. the Prince of Toads, you need to sit down with some seasoned interrogators and you need to have a nice, long chat. U.S. authorities have asked Andrew to help with their ongoing investigation into Epstein's alleged international sex trafficking ring as a witness. We all know how I feel about that as well. I've said it several times and I'll keep saying it. I highly doubt he's a witness. He's as much of a witness as Brennan was in the Durham investigation recently. You don't sit down for an 8-hour talk as just the witness, okay? And that's what we're seeing with Andrew. They're saying, oh yeah, you're just a witness. You're just somebody that has some information we might need. In reality, he's actually a target, and they want to perp walk him. They want to get him right into that perjury trap. He and his lawyers say they have offered help on 3 occasions, but claim there has been no response from the U.S. authorities, a statement which has then been disputed by the FBI. Yeah, he's offered to help with a written statement, right? He hasn't offered to sit down and give a testimony where he can be needled and poked and prodded and where these interrogators can ask him hard questions. Sure, anyone can answer written questions, or obviously he wouldn't answer them probably. It would be his lawyer, right? So that's a non-starter for the FBI, and that's a big tell how you know that he is more than just a witness. Andrew has consistently denied any knowledge of Epstein's trafficking ring. Last week, Westminster Abbey released its official schedule of its bell-ringing days and confirmed that Andrew's birthday will be marked with the honor in February 2021, which is a traditional honor for senior royals. I mean, really? This is what's going to happen, huh? You're going to ring the bells for this depraved, sick, disgusting monster. It is not a good look for the royal family, especially for a royal family, a branch of the royal family, by the way, that is hanging on by tooth and nail right now. Isn't there some sort of upstart royal house that feels like they have been passed over throughout time, who feels like they have a proper claim to the crown? Why don't they make their claim now? The royal family's absolutely weakened. Is that something that still occurs in monarchies over in England? I don't even know. But traditionally and historically, that's what would happen. There would be multiple branches of a family that could claim the crown, right? And sometimes that's what would happen. You would have other parts of a royal family and basically engage in a coup and take the crown. So maybe there is some aspiring royal out there who's watching this scene and just licking their lips and chomping at the bit to make the same kind of move. The public were shocked when this was announced because there was backlash last year when Westminster Abbey's bells rang in celebration of Andrew's 60th. We called it garbage then, and we'll call it garbage now, and we'll call it garbage every single time it happens. You mean to tell me you're going to ring the bells for this dude, this man who abused a girl who was sex trafficked, and Lord only knows what other shit he was up to at Epstein's? You mean to tell me this is who you're going to ring the bells for? But old boy who ran to America with his girl, he's not even part of the family anymore. You've ostracized him. He can't even come over for a bite of tea and crumpets and a little spotted dick anymore. But this guy, Prince Andrew, the Joe Exotic of the Windsor family, we're going to get the bells ringing for him. I mean, really? Nigel Cawthorne, author of the recently published book Prince Andrew, Epstein and the Palace, looked at why the Queen may have chosen to allow her third child to have the royal honor again. He told the Express UK there was an enormous uproar at the beginning of the year when the government requested the local councils celebrate Prince Andrew's 60th. In the end, it didn't happen, though the bells of Westminster Abbey did ring, and we covered that. There was the councils didn't want to celebrate Andrew's birthday, so they scrapped the idea, although the bells, they rang. Although the Queen is the supreme governor of the Anglican Church, she cannot tell the churches what to do on her own. The exception is Westminster Abbey, which falls directly under her responsibility. All right, so it is obviously on the Queen to demand that these bells do not ring. And if she does not stop those bells from ringing, it's almost like she condones her son's behavior, almost like she's trying to protect him some more. And that, my friends, is completely unacceptable. The pressure must be kept on, and you wild folks over there in the UK, you have to keep it up. You have to keep the pressure on this lady. You have to make sure that by February, the pressure and the heat is so hot that the thought of ringing those bells is just a non-starter. It would be a major sign of displeasure if she failed to ring the bells again for his 61st birthday. I mean, you think that a sign of displeasure might be in order here? I don't know about you, but if this was my mom and these were the allegations that were brought against me, first of all, I would have already got my ass beat. I would have been beaten with a wooden spoon from one end of the house to the other, all right? Then I would have been grabbed by the ear and dragged directly to the FBI to either turn myself in because I'm guilty or to defend myself and my family's name. She most certainly wouldn't be talking about ringing any bells unless those bells are the ones inside of my head. Both Andrew's PR representatives and the PR team at Buckingham Palace declined to comment on the matter, while Westminster Abbey did not respond. No, they don't have to respond. Why would they? They're so much better than us. They're the church and royalty. As of this week, the Abbey bell ringing schedule still shows that it will celebrate Andrew's birthday on February 19th at 1 p.m. Mr. Cawthorne continued, "At this moment, it is highly unlikely that the Queen will bow to public opinion. However, unpopular such a decision would be, and even though it would invite the same protesters at Buckingham Palace a few days ago to come out again in force in February in front of the Abbey, well, I think that you'll be dealing with a much larger group in February. Again, from the emails I have received from people in the UK, from talking to people over in the UK, and then from seeing the way they were wilding out the other day in front of Buckingham Palace, if you don't think that they're going to organize something much larger and much louder, you are not paying attention to the script. On Saturday, footage emerged online of a crowd walking in London as part of a Freedom for the Children global walk protest that was also taking place in Liverpool and Manchester. The campaigners were videoed shouting pedophile outside the gates of Buckingham Palace in a clip that has since been viewed more than 3 million times on Twitter. On Facebook, the campaigners explained how they wanted to end child trafficking through their protests. And imagine, look where we're at. And as frustrating as it is that this guy is still avoiding justice, the full hand of justice, look where we are now from where we were. We were at a point where Virginia was basically yelling into a forest with nobody listening. And now everybody's taking note of what she had to say. And even though he might not be in handcuffs or he might not have answered any serious questions yet, the pressure is assuredly ramped up. When you have people outside of Buckingham Palace talking about pedophile this and pedophile that and yelling and screaming, you know you done stepped in a pile of shit. They wrote in a post, the purpose of this walk for change is to bring awareness to the current reality of child exploitation within our own communities and around the world. A protester commented on Twitter that the crowd had full police support. Well, yeah, I would think they would. They weren't out there causing any mayhem, wrecking shit, throwing bricks at people, lighting anything on fire, I don't think. It hasn't escalated to that point yet. Ring them bells and we might have a problem. Some of the signs appeared to condemn Andrew for his relationship with Epstein. The royal has also faced accusations of his own. Virginia Roberts has claimed she was trafficked by Epstein and Miss Maxwell and had sex with the Duke of York on 3 occasions in around 2001 when she was just 17 years old. Buckingham Palace has stated that Andrew consistently and emphatically denied any sexual contact or relationship with Virginia Roberts and that he regrets his ill-judged association with Epstein. There is no implication that Andrew is guilty of any wrongdoing. Nigel Cawthorne's book, Prince Andrew, Epstein and the Palace, was published in 2020 by Gibson Square Books Limited and is available here. Hold on. There is no implication that Andrew is guilty of any wrongdoing? Well, you just got done saying that he is being implicated by Virginia Roberts, so yeah, I think he is being implicated. All right? The whole entire so-called polite society as a whole is being implicated. They're all being called out. They're all having the fingers pointed at them. This sort of shit will not fly under the radar anymore. We're paying attention now. You want to talk about woke? Well, we're woke, all right. We're here. We're ready. And we are remaining vigilant for all of the bullshit antics that so-called polite society loves to get up to. And the ringing of the bells, my friend, the ringing of the bells is not a good idea for the Queen, for the royal house, and for Andrew. It is only going to turn the pressure up. It is only going to fire up the masses, and in turn, the protests might even drown out the ringing of the bells. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at BOBBY_CAPUCCI. All right, folks, the GoFundMe link and the link to the article can be found in the description box. I will be back later on, and we will rock and roll all over again. All right, everybody, enjoy your Thursday afternoon.